Sutra Hall that Japanese scholars claimed to be the oldest in China. This wooden pagoda was the only one of its kind. Lin Huiyin wrote, "The evolution of Chinese architecture remains a riddle. Until now, no Tang wooden construction has been found in China, while the building standards of the Song dynasty still contain some indecipherable mysteries. The Liao period between the Tang and the Song left us some remarkable wooden pagoda, mansion, and Buddha and Sutra halls, which offered us clues about the transition between the different ages. This was indeed a great thing for those few committed modern architects."
它经历了将近1000年地震呀、人为的破坏呀、自然力量的这风力、风雨是这个对它的冲击，它都没有损害了。也就你们看到咱们台阶上那个角兽的分化不完整了，但是木头反而在这儿什么问题没有。说它这个木构件已经经过1000年的互相挤压、咬合，扭成一个整体了。结构上有很多神奇的地方。
朔州的管辖范围。
游客来一般最关心什么？它这个倾斜，还会不会让还能登几年？会不会马上就不让登了？最关心就是它这个倾斜维修情况。专家预测近100-200年肯定是没有问题，但是100-200年不修没问题，但是有人踩它，这个就很难说了。
The photos were all taken and the 10 plans were all measured in great detail to save labor for future graphing efforts. Tomorrow, the bracket sets and facades will be measured. Again, I will have to climb the walls and ride the eaves, but since my legs have already been well tested, I am not afraid of more challenges. A year before Liang Sicheng went to the U.S. to study, one of his legs was slightly handicapped in a car accident. But this never hampered his work examining ancient Chinese architecture. Every journey involved a lot of photographing, and yet the most important and difficult task was the surveying and mapping of the architecture to produce a complete set of graphs for each building. These are some of the architectural maps preserved from that time. Today, they are housed in the School of Architecture of Tsinghua University.
那之所以测稿了，就是这个了。你首先利用你凭你的眼睛，凭你的平时训练的技巧，你把这个门的样子把它画下来，没有尺寸画下来。但是功夫就在你画的出来的比例跟它实际比例都差不多才行。这就是功夫，画下来以后，然后用尺子去量，一点一点量，第一个尺寸什么，第二个尺寸，第三个尺寸，第四个尺寸，那么这个尺寸要求的很细，然后它是木结构，特别琐碎。就拿那个斗拱来讲，斗拱它是一点一点小木头拼起来的，你要把它画很不容易画，你要测绘也很不容易。
These surveys and maps, taken back from each field trip, became the foundation for the fine architectural graphs we can see at last. Between 1932 and 1937, the members of the Institute for Research on Chinese Architecture traversed Hubei, Shanxi, Henan, Shandong, Liaoning, Hunan, Zhejiang, and Jiangsu. They surveyed and mapped over 200 architectural structures in various parts of China, completing 1,898 graphs and leaving a precious treasure for the study of Chinese architecture.
If not for Liang and his wife Lin, and Liao Dunzhan and others, Mo Zongjiang was one of them, they took very seriously the responsibility to find the past, to write about it, to identify it before it was lost. If not for Liang Sicheng, possibly the 20 very early buildings, the buildings that date before the year 1100, or the hundreds of old buildings, that is, buildings that survived before the year 1400, would be in very poor condition or even have been destroyed.
他们做研究中国建筑这个事情，其实真正最大的贡献是，帮我们建立了中国建筑的一个学术体系，这个才是真正重大的事情。自从有了营造学社之后，有了这些工作成果之后，很少有西方学者在做中国建筑研究的时候说不顾中国人的研究成果，会显得非常愚蠢。
In the 1930s, Chinese society gradually came to acknowledge the importance of excavating and examining the ancient relics. In 1935, the Old Capital Cultural Relics Committee was established in Beiping. Liang Sicheng and Liu Dunzhen were selected as technical advisors, and many ancient architectural structures in Beiping began to undergo restoration. Yang Tingbao was in charge of restoring the Qinyan Hall of the Temple of Heaven. As advisors, Liang Sicheng and Lin Huiyin took this photo on the roof of Qinyan Hall.
And it's here that I was able to track down a lot of some of the most exciting finds of that time they were together in China, and in particular this lovely book that she pulled together called Shanxi Summer, 1934. And it's very cute. She calls it the deluxe edition. Hand-drawn, hand-typed, and the text was by my mother, and the photographs were by Liang Sicheng, and my father apparently took some of these photos as well.
In 1934, they planned to meet near the Yudao River in Shanxi to spend the summer together. The Fairbanks followed Liang and Lin on a field trip to discover ancient architecture in southern Shanxi. The days they spent together brought the two couples even closer.
Among these pictures should be identified the following occupants of the Shanxi Summer 1934. 2 graduate architects, 2 inventive culinary experts, a historian, a painter, an accomplished photographer, a correspondent of the Tianjin Ta Kung Pao, an expert packer, her deadly rival in the art, an early riser, a less early riser, 2 even less early risers. Our time with Sicheng had been relatively limited in Peking, but here we 4 ate 3 meals a day together and discovered the first day that he loved hot peppery dishes. This quiet, self-contained man scintillated at the table. Villagers along the way stared at us as usual and irritated Phyllis and Sicheng by asking them what country they came from. They couldn't understand Chinese and foreigners traveling together. While we were gaping at the wonders of ancient China, modern China gaped at this marvel of Henry Ford's.
While traveling, Huiyin was writing a newspaper article, Beyond the Window, to describe the world beyond her reach. The 1930s marked the peak of Lin Huiyin's literary career. In 1934, she published her novelette, Degree 99. Li Jianwu, a literary critic, said, "In an era when even men could not contain their passions, a woman writer such as Huiyin, through her rational and penetrating eyes, took a clear photo of life and presented it in such concise words." In 1936, For its 10th anniversary, the Tianjin Takongpo invited Lin Huiyin to edit the art section on selected novels. She was also employed by the Department of Foreign Languages of the Women's School of Beiping University to teach English literature. Her students commented, "Her English was fluent and pleasant to the ears. Her teaching style was easy and alive. She spoke with wit and humor, and without any pretension. It was an event every time she arrived at the school. Modern, pretty, and yet simple and elegant. Some joked that no one would come to listen to the lecture had it been a men's school." As Mr. Ho Renjie, then a student at Lianjing University, remembered, in the autumn of 1934, Lin Huiyin lectured on China's pagodas. I decided to attend not really out of any interest in pagodas, but out of curiosity about her fame. I could never have imagined that this wonderful lecture would inspire my love of ancient architectural art. Later on, I read Miscellany on Beiping's Suburban Construction, written by Liang Sicheng and Lin Huiyin, which echoed the themes in that lecture. Any lofty ancient tower or foundation of a fallen hall possesses a soul that speaks of the incredible changes over time. It speaks of beautiful romance